A lot of my students find it difficult getting started with an integration question, so let's just do lots of analysis, lots of learning about how to start questions. That is going to be where y equals 0. So you might put y equals 0 into the equation to find out where that point is. This point would be the maximum. This point would be where x equals 0, so you could put that into the equation. That's going to be where y equals 0. That's also going to be where y equals 0. So if you were solving this particular situation, you need to know something about one of these points, maybe this one. You'd have to solve and then find the middle point to know that you had the correct crossing over point. This is going to be the minimum. This is going to be the intersection, so you'd have to do simultaneous equations on the blue and the black line to find where they met. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking there'd probably be only one solution, which, as the blue one looks like it's probably a cubic, then there's going to be some cancelling or some imaginary solutions or something. And that's going to be where the black line has y equals 0. Let's look at some more. Another situation. How would we work out this gold or yellow coloured section where we'd integrate from A to B? How would we work out this blue section? Well, can you see that this maximum is important because the horizontal line is just touching it. So we'd find the maximum, and suppose the maximum was like 8, then we'd know that was 8, and suppose from A to B was 3, then the area of this box would be 3 times 8 equals 24. So then this blue bit would be 24 minus the integral from A to B. What about this situation? Maybe pause the video, have a think about it. That looks like it's probably the origin. Although if it wasn't stated, I'd probably double check by putting in, well, depending on how the question was worded, my suspicion is they want you to use x equals 0. I don't know actually, it would depend on the question. Anyway, but make sure I definitely talk about the origin. That's going to be where the line and the curve meet. And then you could just integrate from A to B once you'd worked out what A and B were. Let's look at another situation. Oh well, there's like multiple different ways this could go. Let's suppose we're supposed to find this whole blue area. How would we go about doing that? We'd need to find this maximum. Should we pretend that that's just x equals, I don't know, minus 10? We'd have to find where this intersected in these two places and make sure that when we found this one we ignored it. And let's just pretend that turned out to be minus 8. Let's pretend that turned out to be, I don't know, 2. Now how do we find this? Well, okay, one method is, now you've got this maximum, you've then got a tangent. So maybe that's y equals 5, and then you could find out where the line y equals 5 crossed the line here, and then that will give you the x value. So maybe that would tell you that x equals 3. So then that blue area, it's going to be, right, well, we're going to need, so let's go for a different colour. By the way, this is the penultimate question. Should we not use, let's use red. No, let's use blue, here we go. Right. We're going to need that whole box, so that's going to be 13 times 5, and then we need to minus the integral, need to minus this bit, which is the integral from minus 10 to minus 8, and then minus the integral, this bit, 2 to 3, and then that would be the original light blue area. Final question, how do we find this shaded area, say? Well, it's the same, yeah? Need to find this maximum, and then suppose that was a y equals 6, and suppose that gave us that here x equals 2. We then know that y must be equal to 5 here. We can sub it in. I'm talking about a different approach now, although it's kind of the same as the previous one, worded differently. And then that would eventually give me my x value. Maybe that's, I don't know, 10. So then I would need the blue area equals the area of the rectangle minus the integral, which would be 6 times 8 minus the integral from 2 to 10. Hopefully that was helpful. Thanks for watching.